show's just started.
Yeah.
And in the summer when the clouds come through, I might go the same way too if you and I could talk together. Well, what am I supposed to do if you and I would walk together? Then we're always close around and now you gaze.
What is it, Sisters of Mercy?
Yeah.
When the weather comes falling down, and when the rain comes down, would you choose to walk or stay? Would you choose to walk? Would you choose to stay? Would you walk, 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 walk
Okay, Dan,
You want to start a little early? Are you tuned up?
I'm queued up. Wait till this song ends, I guess.
Yeah, I'll fade it out. Let's go.
Oh boy, it's Monday. And it's time for the
Happy
Jeff-
Monday.
It's Monday. I'm glad it's not a man bun Monday. I'd rather have a manic Monday than a man bun Monday. Just recovering from the weekend. Here on Chaotic Radio, it's the Jeff Sargent Show. I'm Jeff Sargent. Man, we got our co-host. He's in the house right now. He's drinking coffee. He's wide awake. Mr. Pat Jankowitz. Hey. Whoa. Behind the glass. Who knows what his hands are doing behind the glass? Dan the Man Rupp, executive producer of the Jeff Sargent Show.
Yes, welcome to the Jeff Sargent Show, as I am the man in the glass booth. I am the Wizard of Oz.
And that's our intro. That's what we do every day. We do this intro. You hear the You hear anybody who could guess what song this is or what group that I play as the Jeff Sargent Show intro song will win a prize. I don't know what the prize is, but you will get a prize. It could be anything from a t-shirt to a guitar.
Starting tomorrow, I'm going to bring in 10 envelopes. One of them will have a $100 bill in it. The rest of them will be gift cards and coupons.
Are you serious?
Yes, that's going to be a new segment on the Jeff Sargent Show.
That is going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be for caller-ins only.
For caller-ins only.
You can't text me and expect to win a prize. You got to call in.
You know, let's make sure that our sponsors' money gets to the man.
Yes, I've already made sure it's going to go to me because I'm going to.
Yeah, it's going to you, but you're passing it.
I'm going to pass it to him.
Yeah, it's called pass the buck. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
Pass the buck. I'm gonna call our sponsor. I'm gonna locate him. So Dan, I don't want you running around.
Yeah.
We're gonna locate him, find him, and we're gonna meet him, and we'll meet him up. So that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do.
That sounds good to me.
Okay. Now, let me explain something here about the Jeff Sargent Show. That no matter what happens, what happens, this is a partnership. We are the Three Caballeros, okay? I don't like doing a show without either one of you, and I'm sure you feel the same way. All for one and one for all.
Yes.
Yeah. Three Caballeros, Three Musketeers, whatever you want, a Galaxy Trio. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, if it takes it to another, we are partners, okay? It's fun to say co-host, and we're all, it's like, okay, this is what you got to do. It's like mixing resin, okay? It's like pouring a mold. You got part A, I'm part A. You got Patrick, part B, and we got Dan, the catalyst. And you take these and you mix it together. You mix it together, and boom, what do you got? You got a damn good radio show, yeah.
We do. We are growing like weeds. I mean, I look at our listeners, and it's totally growing. I look at our YouTube channel. It's totally growing. I mean, there's no stopping us. I think your mic is off, Patrick.
Yes, Steve Joyner. Are you guys all set for this morning? Also, did you text address to Jeff East for tomorrow? I will do that now.
Yeah, Patrick's mic is off, or something's going on with that mic.
Is he number 4? Oh, sorry. Did I slide that? Did I? Are you number 4? No. Oh, you're number 5.
He's number 5.
You moron. My best
there you
material.
go. Now I can hear him.
So much for the glue, you piece of ass.
Oh, man. Like you said, I thought I'm hearing you just fine because you're standing.
What are you, Roy? And I'm Jimmy? We're Roy, and I'm Jimmy. And we're filling in for the Jeff Sargent Show.
Yes, we have.
We're failed comedians.
The following program is brought to you in living color.
Living color.
Let's on our sponsor. Let's have
Let's have a nice toast to the Pacific Wine Merchant.
a toast to the Pacific Wine Merchant, a proud sponsor of the Jeff Sargent Show. Pacific Wine Merchant, downtown Upland, at the Metrolink station. It's right there in the corner. Ding, 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 ding. You hear the train go by. A good place to get craft beer and wine, delicious wine.
My friend said craft beer, by the way.
That's craft. My friends of craft beer. And also fine cigars. Cigar Exchange. Pacific Wine Merchants and Cigar Exchange in downtown Upland.
Not a metaphor.
No. Come get a fine Patron cigars. A nice selection. The best humidor for cigars in town. Yeah.
Who's playing what? Are you playing this or am I playing this?
You're
You're
playing
playing
that,
that.
you fool. Shut that shit down. I'm trying to talk. Oh, don't play that mushy crap. Don't play all that.
Although the group that did that song, Fountains of Wayne, they're really good.
I just slid the volume down on that.
Okay, I turned it off.
You turned it off. No, you didn't.
Oh, you
You
BS.
liar! Turn that off. Okay. Welcome to the Jeff.
This is the first serious fight we've had on the Jeff Sargent Show.
Wait. That was. I'm sorry. I was playing shit too. Hey.
Yeah, see, we're playing songs over each other.
Okay.
Wow. I hate it when mom
You
and
know
dad
what?
fight.
That's because we are not engineers. Okay.
No, we're not.
We're barely DJs.
I keep saying this. I forget by the time the show is over. I should call Joanne up and have her lead us to an intern, a college intern, to do some engineering here, and then we could have all those great sound effects when they're cued. You know, when we give our hand signals. It's on, man. Okay, it's really quiet right now. Oh shit!
You've lost the
Son
crowd,
of a
Jeff.
bitch. I've got some announcements to make here.
There's your sound effect.
Let's talk about our guest today.
Yes, let's.
We posted it on Facebook. We have
Two cool guests.
two cool guests. And our in-house guest, he's on his way.
That'll be great. I'm so glad he's doing
John
this.
Lawson.
John Lawson of American Horror Story.
Yes, even though he was in just one episode, it was good. That's all it takes to be in
You know
one
what?
episode.
One episode you're in. You know, it's like what people say about one-hit wonders. They had one. You know.
Yeah,
If
you
remember-
made it. You
No.
made it to American Horror Story. I
You've
didn't.
done what only the
Pat
Beatles
didn't make it.
Exactly.
I didn't make it.
Exactly.
Dan didn't make it.
No, I made watching it, but I didn't make it. I love this show.
Now, did you see John in the show?
He's the double amputee.
Oh, yeah, then I did.
What did he play?
The double amputee.
Thanks, asshole.
And we have a call in from our buddy, Tom Downey.
Is he on now?
He's going to call at 8 o'clock.
Oh yeah, that'll be
Yeah,
fun.
and he also does production. He's not only an actor, he's behind the scenes building shit. He's doing a lip sync battle. He's going to tell us about that.
I'm gonna give us credits.
Yeah,
Tom
you know,
Downey.
you and Tom were both in Daniel Trejo, and he got lead actor, top billing, Tom Downey,
in Burning Dead.
Burning Dead.
Yeah,
brother.
boy, oh boy. Okay, Tom's really cool.
Both of you guys are in the Burning Dead. And,
I'm just a zombie.
you're just as he is. The
I was there
sheriff.
to I was there to tear the beautiful, beautiful Jenny Lynn in half. With
Oh
no,
yeah, yes. Oh my God, she's gorgeous. And the Kelsey Zukowski.
Oh,
my God,
Kelsey's
she's
adorable. I mean, Kelsey was
She's
also
beautiful even when she's a burned up zombie.
me, Noel, and Kelsey were tearing apart Jenny Lynn in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Oh my God, you were eating her intestines.
Yes, we were.
And Tom Downey is the sheriff. He's the good guy. He's the hero. Of
Yeah,
the
there's
movie.
Danny, there's Jenny Lynn, there's Monique Plant, who was really cool. Oh, yeah, I took you to the premiere. Remember?
We went to the premiere and we got free videos to take home.
DVDs.
Yes.
What's a video, Granddad?
It's a video. It's a video. It's in a disc. It's called a digital video disc.
So, have you been watching Slasher? Any of you?
What's that?
It's a Netflix series.
It is.
Yeah.
I have not.
Oh, it's like you know, a little. It's kind of like you know, just little horror stories. You know.
Little horror stories.
Yeah, a lot of jugglers getting cut, and you know, it's just it's silly, but you know, I dig stuff like that. You know, my wife hates it, so I have to watch it during the day when she's not home.
Oh. Hey, wow, he did a lot of stunts in a lot of horror movies.
Oh, yes. Now, Tuesday, we have guests too. We got guests lined up all this week. Pat, are you leaving me?
Wednesday
What's going on?
Wednesday through Friday, I've got another gig I can't talk about, but
Another top secret confidential
yeah, it might even be Wednesday through Monday. So I got to see what they're. I know.
horror under heavy makeup.
It'll be
creature.
It's a creature gig.
Monster.
Where they're tweaking the creature I was last time. They're adding some stuff, subtracting some stuff.
Adding a few horror and taking away a few horror and adding an appendage.
I've signed an NDA.
Taking away a
so
wart, adding a wart.
exactly. It's an NDA thing, so I can't talk about it yet, but it'll be cool.
Excellent. You know how insecure I'm going to be?
Well, you'll only be alone Wednesday through Friday, and I'll be back.
I'm having, oh my God, I got Marilyn coming in. I got Wednesday we have
We're gonna have all hot chicks coming in.
Yes,
White
yes.
Patrick is gone.
we have
Oh, that's right. The last time I was gone.
Catherine's coming in. We
Last time I was gone, you lazy bastards had a Scream Queen.
Yes, we had. You missed out on that.
As
You're
long
gonna
as I'm
miss
not
out-
missing.
You're going to miss out on Marilyn. You're going to miss out on Catherine.
Ah, I love Marilyn. Which one's Catherine?
and
Who's Catherine?
Kellyanne Chippendale is
I would have loved to have been there for her. Yeah, but she moved. She was supposed to be in today.
No. Oh yeah. But she's moving to Friday's episode.
Ooh.
Yes.
Maybe you can have Dan the man sit in my chair and ask these wonderful people questions. Dan, could you sit in my chair and still work the booth?
Yeah, I just have to get things running, and then I could move on over and take the chair and
Step one, make sure you're on the air.
and then run back and forth if I have to. But make sure everything's up and running. But that's why I get here at 6:30 a.m.
Dan, look, Jeff is so bored with his own show, he's texting.
I'm trying. I'm trying. I got this thing. I'm trying to
He
get
is
it
running,
ready.
hey, honey, I have to listen to my own stupid voice.
My phone is frozen.
Oh,
Oh.
that's
It's
not
frozen.
good.
Frusenglasen. There we go. Oh my God.
Frozen,
What's going on?
Frusenglasen. Sounds German.
Sounds dirty.
Frozen. It's Frusenglasen.
Or sounds like a nice dessert.
It was. That was a. Don't touch my Frusenglasen.
Don't
touch-
eat my frozen glass.
Don't touch my
Grandpa
Frusenglasen.
Sargent said that all the way to the when the Vikings
That's
came
what
for him.
Johann said when you were to touch his ogyurt.
Ogiart.
So, Patrick, when did you find out all this information?
They called on Friday, and I told them I couldn't because I wanted to be here Tuesday because Jeff was coming. I wanted to be here all week.
You have to be here with Superboy.
Yeah,
with
so-
teenage Superboy
Yeah, but
and
Jeff-
Pumpkinhead.
But the point is, Jeff has done so much stuff. I mean, Jeff was in the musical version of Tom Sawyer, produced by Arthur P. Jacobs, the producer of
That
Planet
was the
of the Apes.
musical with Johnny Whitaker as Tom Sawyer. He
With
was
Johnny
Huck,
Whitaker, yeah.
He was Huck Finn.
But remember, the movie did so
Jodie
well.
Foster.
Jodie Foster.
was Becky. And we were all kids, man.
Poor Johnny Whitaker. He was the big name when they made it, and then Jodie Foster blew his doors off.
Oh, yes. He was, it was from, was that before or after Family Affair?
Oh, after. That's what got our family. Family Affair had just gone off the air.
Oh, that's right.
I do my research.
It was before pre-Sigmund and the Sea Monsters.
Pre-Sigmund and Sea Monsters, and then
He did The Littlest Angel, too, where he jumped off a cliff and fell, and he became an angel. We didn't get to see him die. He just jumps off a cliff, and the next thing you know, he's got a pair of wings on him. Just like a cartoon.
flitting around while his parents emptied his bank account.
But it was Pumpkinhead. Who was the creator of Pumpkinhead?
Actually, this is really dark. Stan Winston directed Pumpkinhead.
But who created the creature?
Stan Winston. Stan Winston.
Stan Winston designed the creature.
It was 88. It was 87, 88 when he made it. Came out in 88. Pumpkinhead had the dog legs.
Yes.
He was the first monster with the dog legs, which a ton of
we-
people ripped off, including Godzilla.
That was. I mean, to physically do that. This was a physical costume. This is 80s, man. No CG.
No CG. This is 3 years before
And
Terminator 2,
he
which
was
Winston
tall.
also did.
The guy had to be a skinny, tall guy, right?
He's a tall guy, Tom Woodruff, but he was also on Stealth, I believe.
Yeah, there was those special stilts that when your foot at an angle, created the hind hocks of a hoofed animal.
There was a short trend in the late 80s, early 90s, where there was a certain makeup artist from the area. I won't say his name, but he had a 5'2" sister-in-law who wanted to be an actress. So anytime he had a 6-foot monster, he would put his sister-in-law on stilts. And the problem for him is half the time it looked like his sister-in-law, his 5'2" sister-in-law on stilts.
Oh my God.
Can't go wrong casting a tall guy as a tall monster, you know? Oh,
Another commercial? In the middle of our conversation?
what the hell? Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are
So
piping.
that's going to be an interesting one to talk to him about because it's also got our millennia guy.
Yeah, no. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, of course we're gonna have the guy from Millennium. Yes.
Yeah, Millennium.
Yeah, he's an amazing actor. He's also in Aliens, you know. And I did a bit for one of his. There's a movie called Lance Henriksen Must Die,
Wow.
and I play overzealous fan at the convention in the beginning. I'm demanding he sign something for me. That's the movie coming out with him and Tim Thomerson. What else? Well, but here's the weird thing.
What?
Pumpkinhead and another movie from the same writer are obsessed with death, obsessed with suicide, obsessed with shooting yourself in the head. And the main writer on Pumpkinhead, who came up with this and another movie, if you watch the two movies he did, it's obsessed with a guy shooting himself in the head to end the evil, to end the madness. The writer killed himself by shooting himself in the head, which after you watch Pumpkinhead is nobody's surprise.
Wait a second. You're not telling me, not only do they do it on the screen,
He did it in
but
real
he
life.
did it in real
Yeah,
life. How many
the writer
years?
of Pumpkinhead.
How many years after he did this movie?
I think about 5 or 10 years later. But if you watch Pumpkinhead and the other movie he wrote, let me Google the other movie. If you watch
Wow, that's a
Pumpkinhead,
trip.
yeah, he shot himself in the head after that. So,
Damn.
but when you watch the movie and it's obsessed with people shooting themselves in the head.
Wow.
There's a bummer this early in the morning, huh?
No,
Yeah, I'm like,
that's why I can't own a gun, because after I slit my wrist,
You slit your wrists?
yeah.
Tell us about that. Why would you do such a thing?
yeah, you got a show to do, pal.
Yeah, your ass ain't going anywhere.
No, this is going back about a year.
What, a year? you clown. And then he's laughing about it. And then, oh, I got a flyer for you, Dan, before you talk about your slit the wrist thing. There's
Well, I'll tell you, you know why he slit his wrists.
There is
He
a...
just seen Superman versus Batman.
Shut up. How dare you? I like that movie. There's a clown. There's like a clown concert, like a nightclub. It's a clown theme. I gotta get it. It's not in the car. It's in my saddlebags, but I'll dig it out. I said, me and Dan have to go to this clown gathering thing.
Oh, I'm definitely there.
It's not ICP or nothing like that. No, it's just like a creepy clown party, man, that we got to go to.
No, I would totally go. I dress up as Slappy and
I'll go as my new character. I should go as Buckles. Laffy Pants will help me. I'll get a hold of Laffy Pants. He's going to hook me up with clown shoes. And I think he should be. I think he should get the wire off of his jaw by then.
yeah. And if
You
I
know,
get
he
cotton,
recovered from his motorcycle.
if I
accident, so
get
he's okay.
Cotton Candy Andy and Dirt Williams to come
Oh,
with me,
Cotton
that'd be
Candy
great.
Andy, now that's a scary clown right there.
He's a great singer, man. That dude's cool, man.
Oh, God.
Talk about punk rock. I mean, those guys are really cool.
I wonder, God, can you imagine Pat as a clown? Imagine if we did him as, apocalyptic bozo.
Thank you.
I don't know what kind of name we'd have to give him.
Oh, that would be a good one. Hey, that'd be good for our contest. Pick the best clown image and personality for Pat.
Thank you.
Name a clown and win a prize. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll bring those envelopes in full of prizes, and whoever wins gets to choose an envelope, and you could get a 25 cents off a roll of Bounty, or you could get $100 cash.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out this stupid soundboard.
What is Batman and Jesus the movie? Have you heard about that?
No, and I don't even think we should discuss it.
Yeah, look at it. It came up here on the internet.
And tonight, by the way, is the Zig Zone. My friend Zig has a show on tonight. I believe it's from 6 to 7. Zig is one of the co-owners here, and I just want to plug his show. He is a motorcycle rider, and he teaches motorcycle riding.
Hey!
You should probably
Ring that
go,
doorbell.
Jeff.
Our guest is here.
And he's also a drummer.
Right here, Mr. L.
and-
Wow!
Oh, time! Our guest is in the house, Mr. John Lawson.
Come here. Good to see you, Johnny.
It's
Sit down here.
time.
Let me sit you up.
Welcome,
You want
welcome.
some coffee?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
put him
Did
on.
you go to the bathroom? Okay, right through there.
Yeah, put him on that mic. Get him some coffee or some water. We might have fruit left over from Friday.
Fresh fruit from rotted vegetables. All of a sudden, there was dead air. Like, oh.
Overall and all, I wasn't sure if he was going to sit down and start talking or hit the green room and wait for a proper invitation, announcement
host,
that he was
boys.
here. So, yeah, did you get the coffee made for him?
I did. I'm not.
And
Hey, Dan,
we are streaming live.
for Johnny's here. Hey,
on the
Dan.
Jeff Sargent Show.
Dan, do you want some coffee or anything? Are you good?
No, I'm good. I'm fine.
Okay.
Remember, he's on a special diet of his own.
Are you really? Well, but you drink decaf, which
Are you doing
Decaf is the only thing I could drink.
for the love of God, there's. No, I didn't know you did that to yourself last year.
tea?
now I'm worried
no
about.
artificial stimulants for Dan.
No, I, this was back when I was drinking, and I stopped drinking.
I'm gonna stop teasing your rehab stories. I didn't know how dark it got.
So I relapsed and I started drinking again. And I tripped and I hit my head twice. And then my son dragged me in the garage. And
Yeah.
I told him, don't call mom. Don't call mom.
Oh,
And what does he do?
You know what?
He calls mom.
That's the worst thing is to get in trouble. by
Johnny,
mom.
come in and have a seat. Hold
Yeah.
on, let me go.
John Lawson.
Hey,
our
John
guest.
put on your
Lawson.
headphones. Do you want some creamer in there?
No.
Oh, really? You want it black?
Yeah.
Wow, you're a lunatic.
Yes.
Hey, come on now. All right.
Hello from the booth.
Oh, say hi to Dan the Man Rupp.
Hey.
All right. John Lawson is in the house.
I'm the puppet master.
He's on mic number 4.
Well, that
Whoa.
would work.
And we talking to the rubber band here,
We're in
John.
the rubber
Alright.
band. It's what they call a side. it's a
Side feed.
mic.
All right. I got some on the side ones.
Yes. Welcome to the Jeff Sargent Show, John.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good
Yes.
to be here.
Now, we were just talking about that. We were just talking about how much we love American Horror Story. And even though you said, I'm only in one, you made that episode. And that's a big deal, man, because we didn't make it. Patrick's an actor. He didn't make it. I mean, look at this guy. He's a walking freak just without makeup. I mean, he's Bigfoot without Bigfoot wearing his clothes. You know?
Watch your mouth, biatch.
All right, Jeff, just a quick reminder in your best radio voice. Give
Yes.
out the phone number.
Oh, yes, the phone number. It's right here. It's 909-360-8330. If you want to call in and ask any stories, ask any questions about our stories or our guest, call in at 909-360-8330. All right, that's our number for the Jeff Sargent
Yes.
Show at Chaotic Radio.
And I still take texts and I'll read them
Yes,
to our
people
guests.
like to text. Some people like that distance between phone calls. People like texting.
Yeah.
I find that most common. Is it women or guys? I think more women like to text more than men. I don't know. What do you think, Patrick? What the hell are you doing? Get your ass in here.
I'm making my coffee, baby.
Oh, you already had it.
You just made coffee.
Oh, a big coffee for a big guy.
How big coffee we doing?
John, what time do you have to leave the house to get here?
Oh, dark 30.
Dark 30. Okay.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been on the 210.
Yeah. Well, since you moved, you were out here in.
Yeah, I was out east of here, and now I'm west of here. So, yeah.
But it's all familiar because you came down. This is our area. You came down, and we had cigars.
Oh, yeah.
And drinks with our sponsor. They are now. Pacific Wine Merchants is our sponsor of the show.
Awesome.
Yeah, the finest of Patron cigars.
That's right. We did share quite a few that chilly morning.
Yeah, that was a winter time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was winter. It seemed
it
like
was
we were
pretty cold.
outside and watching some sporting event.
Yes, that's what we were doing.
That's always the highlight of my day.
So what is you've been really busy lately, I've noticed. What's the latest thing you're working on right now?
Well, I just got through editing a little short film that we shot a few weeks ago, or I guess it's been a few months ago now, but we did for the Producers Guild.
PGA, baby.
Yeah, for like the Producers Guild 48-hour film challenge. And,
You know, those are great. I did a short film like that for the last one. Our film placed, we came in number 1. We
Yeah,
did
cool.
Born of Sin.
Yeah, awesome.
So you shot it. You acted in it and shot it in 24 hours.
Yeah. This was in 48-hour, 48-hour film festival kind of thing. And we had some technical problems with sound.
Oh, big! I'm sorry I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I love being your sound guy when we work on these films.
Yeah.
All
Well, we had
Jeff's-
some technical problems with sound.
All Jeff's stories end up with him apologizing for not showing up on set.
So you're not only you're directing and you're acting in it as well.
No, I wasn't directing. My friend Nick Novicki was actually directing.
Nick, our small,
Yeah, a little person.
our little person friend. Yes.
Yeah. And Nick was directing, and I was just producing, and then I've been editing. And so we had some problems, so we didn't make the upload deadline. So we actually kind of reshot some stuff, and we've kind of repurposed the whole film. So we just finally got a nice little picture lock, and I was going through yesterday actually doing sound design.
You did Super with James Gunn.
Yes, I did. Yeah,
It's that crazy superhero movie he made previous to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Absolutely, yeah.
Talk about doing Super, because I love that movie. I introduced him at the Emerald City Comic Con premiere of that.
Yeah. It was awesome. Shot down in New Orleans, actually we were in Shreveport, but it was a lot of fun time. It starred Rainn Wilson as a superhero with no superpowers,
Except he has monkey wrench.
Yeah, he goes around hitting folks in the head with a monkey wrench.
Ellen Page is his Robin.
Yeah, Ellen Page and Liv Tyler, and I got
As is his strange wife. And you, talk about your role.
Yeah. Well, I played one of Kevin Bacon's bad guys. So my Kevin Bacon number is either 0 or 1.
No, isn't that amazing? I have a 2 because I did a movie. With the guy who did Stir of Echoes with him.
Yeah.
So on the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, I got a 2 because I had someone who was directly in a Kevin Bacon movie.
Yeah.
But
Well,
you're
I
a 1 because you're in
I
a
guess
scene
I'm
with
a
him.
1. Yeah, I was one of Kevin Bacon's bad guys. And
How was he?
I actually, we didn't have a scene together. Well, we had a scene together, but I didn't get to see him. He was like inside, I was outside, one of the bad guys that was attacking.
You're in a Kevin Bacon movie, man. You're
Yeah.
in a movie by James Gunn. That's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So I ended up, surprisingly enough, I ended up one of the bad guys that got my arms blown off.
Well, I was just going to come to that. I said I don't know if you were going to wear weapons on your arms or just you had the prosthetic.
The movie is very, 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 very gory.
Very violent. Isn't
It's what would be called a dark comedy.
I mean, a dark comedy.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
how does you feel? I mean, isn't doing that all over again? There goes your arms again. I mean,
Yeah, well, it's not like that.
It's a lot more fun with it when it's latex and.
Well, the worst part of it was as we were shooting it was probably January or February. I don't know. In
So it was
Shreveport.
cold.
It was chilly that night.
Wow.
And so they had me all, special effects with latex and had little tubes coming out that were like with blood pumping out and squirting and all this. So I'm laying on the ground, I've been blown up, and Rainn Wilson walks up to me and points a shotgun at me, and I go, don't kill me or something like that.
And he pulls the trigger, if I remember right.
Yeah. And I was like wired with a couple of big squibs and all this. But the blood, the fake blood was like pooling underneath my back. So you're just kind of
Wow.
laying there in it.
And it's just a few minutes before the ants start coming.
Yeah. And so it was like, 4 or 5 different takes. And we had a good time. It was a lot of fun. It was the last shot of the night that we shot that night. And it was a lot of fun with Rainn Wilson. He was a blast. He was a lot of fun.
Tell me about James Gunn. I like Rainn Wilson a lot, but I really like James Gunn.
James was awesome. He's a really great director. We had a lot of fun. Like I said, it was the last shot of the show, and we were shooting digital, so he was just letting it run. And I don't know. I had a line, something like, please don't kill me or something. I don't know. And James goes, let's go back to one and give me something different, And so in the film, I had known, because I'd been on set for a while, a couple of days. They have like a little bunny rabbit in there, and so I did a line. He walks back up, he points the shotgun at me, and the camera's like shooting from over his shoulder on a ladder. And I go, I like bunnies or something like that.
They didn't use that one in the movie?
No, they didn't use that one in the movie. And so then he goes, do another one, that's great. So I'm having to ad-lib stuff, right on the spot. So in the film, Rainn Wilson's character kind of wears like red long johns with, baseball shin guards or something like that.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like a half-assed Daredevil.
Yeah. So, and actually they made the movies at the same time, and neither one was in competition with the other. They didn't even know they were each making the film, and they're both great films. Daredevil, the guy that directed that as well. Anyway, so Rainn walks back up, and, he's in these really tight sort of long john looking things. And so I walk back up, and he's got this big double barrel shotgun or whatever. And I go, all right, is that extra shells in your pocket? Or are you happy to see me? So in the film, they didn't end up using that one either. But James is laughing like crazy, off camera, and go, do another one. And Rainn walks up, and I go, in that outfit, I know why they call you the Crimson Bolt.
Oh.
So we had a blast. So he's yelling like, do one more. And I'm going like, what the heck am I going to say? I don't know. So Rainn walks up, and he's expecting something funny. And so he just turns a little smile, just starts to crack a little smile, and then I lose it. We just totally lost it.
Okay, is that movie on Netflix now? That's a question I just got.
That's
It
what
was.
our
As of
buddy,
last year, it was.
It was, yeah.
Our producer from the East Coast, producer, actor, comedian, Carmine Caradona said, isn't that movie on Netflix now?
It was as of last month. I'm not sure it still is, but if you haven't seen it, it was kind of a transition movie for James. He started out in Trauma, and now he makes Guardians of the Galaxy. And you'll see some of the sweetness in Guardians and some of the meanness of his Trauma period, like Romeo and Juliet. So the dark humor and kind of the meanness are in there,
Yeah.
It's much more bloody than you would anticipate it to be.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
another question from down under, real quick.
Oh, all the way from Australia, John.
Yes, before I forget.
You were there recently.
yeah, I was just in Australia about a month ago.
Good.
No,
A woman wants to know she's in her first trimester.
I know.
She's wondering if you're going to come back and take care of.
She is a lady and a fan of our show, and she always texts us because we're on different time zones. Yeah. So she wants to know, how did you lose your arms?
Wow, that's blunt.
Oh, that's okay. Well, I usually tell everybody that you've heard that story about the man that late at night all the women look prettier and all the men look skinnier and have more hair. And You know, so I used to say that, yeah, you know, you've heard that story about Wolfer Ugly, you know, or
yeah.
Coyote Ugly.
Oh no.
You know, the guy that chewed his arm off.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that wasn't me. I don't go to bed with ugly women. I was injured in an electrical accident.
Address your letters to John Lawson, by the way, ladies. Go on.
I was in an electrical accident over 30 years ago. I worked for a company that painted above ground water tanks, and it was in between acting and singing jobs. I worked a real job, as my dad used to say, and painted above ground water tank. An electric line with 7,600 volts arced over to the back of the. I had aluminum extension pole just doing some touch up.
Oh no.
And it arced to the back of the pole and burned my arms and my hands.
crap.
Kind of just broke and slashed, right? The cables came down and just.
No. It was just in close proximity, and then it arced across.
Oh, it arced. Oh,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
jumped.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
my
yeah.
God.
Now, when did you realize your acting career was not over?
Pretty much in the hospital, you know, I thought, hey, a guy with no hands should be able to get more roles. But interestingly enough, everybody might not, but Harold Russell was
The time of our lives,
Yeah,
best years of our lives.
best years of our lives.
Oscar winner, by the way.
Yes, he was the first ever person with a disability to win an Oscar. And in
My
fact, he
brother
won-
asked me to ask you about him, and I go, "Why the hell would I mention Harold Russell to our guest?"
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have to apologize to Don now.
Yeah, actually, I got to know Harold Russell. It was kind of cool.
You see him light a cigarettes with
Oh,
his
yeah.
with his hooks. In the movie, he plays this vet coming home from World War II, and he hasn't told his girl what happened to him yet. But you see him light a cigarette.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Can you do that?
Oh, yeah.
You shouldn't smoke though.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't smoke.
I've known John long enough. I've hung out with John and worked on a film with him.
You met him through me,
He
smartass.
could do he could do things better than we can.
I
I'll
just
tell you
heard
that.
from our friend Greg Gross that he is a cigar connoisseur.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, Greg
Yes.
hung out with us. That was our
Yeah.
That's our sponsor guy. Greg hung
Yeah,
out. I know
Greg.
that guy.
Yeah, I have a tendency to have a cigar every once in a while. You know, I usually tell everybody that I do just about anything I want to do, and a whole bunch of things I shouldn't.
Oh, boo.
You know, but yeah, I years ago, I saw Harold Russell right after I lost my hands. He was on the TV show China Beach. If you remember,
That's
China
right.
Beach.
Remember
That's
that?
right.
Oh, I love that.
With
girl.
Dana Delaney at her hottest.
Yeah.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. She was like, I had the hots for her I still do.
Were you on the set of the show, or were you watching because you were obsessed with her?
I was watching because I was obsessed with her.
Yes,
But,
we're all guilty of the
yeah.
A friend of our family grew up with her, and he grew up with her, and he was kind of obsessed with her even as an adult.
Yeah.
And I go, give it up, Bill. It's not
Yeah.
going to happen.
On China, I loved her on China Beach. And,
And the voice of Lois Lane on the animated Superman.
Harold Russell played her grandfather.
Wow.
And she came home from Vietnam for Thanksgiving. And the guy, they were like, had styrofoam cups, and he was holding the cup from the top, from the
Wow.
styrofoam like this. And I go, that guy's really a double amputee. I didn't know anything about the best years
Oh,
of
you
our
knew
lives.
because he held it up like
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Wow.
because he held the cup like that. Because I hadn't seen Best Years of Our Lives, didn't know anything
It's
about
kind of mawkish, actually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he won. It's a great performance by him, but half of the stuff is probably stuff he experienced coming home himself.
Well, it was, and he was a World War II amputee, a veteran, and he was discovered on like a U.S. Navy training tape because he was like playing ping pong and doing
Wow.
things with his hooks. So I don't know if Wycliffe or the director of Best Years of Our Lives saw it or how he found him, but that's how he was discovered. He was not an actor. And interesting story, the Academy was very touched by his performance. And, you know, in 1947, it was up for, you know, Best Picture and all this kind of stuff. And they did not think that Harold would win for Best Supporting Actor. So they voted and gave him a special Oscar for promoting, you know, the veterans and veterans coming home. But then he won legitimately by Best Supporting Actor. And today, he is the only actor to ever receive 2 Oscars for the same role.
Also, late in life, he had money troubles in the 80s, and he sold his Oscar.
Yeah.
And-
I have an interesting story.
Yeah,
about
please.
Okay.
I was going to tell it, but you would sound like you know him. You have a better one.
I probably shouldn't tell this on the
I
radio.
demand you to.
Yeah.
We demand.
Yeah.
This is-
How much am I getting paid now?
You have executive producer approval.
Yeah.
Dan the Man Rub assures me if you don't tell the story, we'll find out local vandals might have slashed all 4 of your tires.
Yeah. The front door locked when I came in. How do I get out? Well, like I said, I'd known Oscar. I mean, I'd known Harold, and we had talked for a while. And at that time, my wife was sick. My wife had breast cancer.
I'm sorry.
And so anyway, Harold called one evening. He lived up in Massachusetts. And he called me one evening. He goes, this was about, gosh, I don't know, 19... I can't remember when it was.
88, 89, around there.
Yeah, it was like 89 or 91, 92. I can't
Because
remember.
the Academy passed a rule where
Right.
Academy winners cannot sell their Oscars
Right.
anymore.
They don't belong to them anymore. Yeah. They still remain the property of the Academy. So anyway, I get a call from Harold one night. He goes, John, you're smart about this kind of stuff. He says, you know how you can sell stuff online?
Oh, no.
And I go, you mean like eBay or something? I know a little bit about it. I said, why, Harold? What do you want to sell? And he goes, well, my wife and I want to go on a trip. He wanted to take a trip. They wanted to go on like a cruise before she got worse. And I said, well, what do you want to sell? And he goes, I want to sell my Oscar. And I go, Harold, you don't want to sell your Oscar. I mean, that's awesome. And he says, no, not my best supporting Oscar. They gave me this little special Oscar, and I want to sell that one. I go, that's even better. He goes, hell no. He goes, they gave one to the 7 dwarfs. So,
Oh, that's right. They did.
they gave like 7 little Oscars. So I told him, I said, well, Harold, you shouldn't sell it on eBay. I said, go to an auction house like Christie's or something like that. And so he goes, oh, yeah, that's probably better. So nobody knows, but I talked him into selling his. I didn't talk him into it. He already made his mind up. But we talked about selling his Oscar. But I didn't know you couldn't do it or it would be such a big deal, Nobody knew at the time. He didn't either. So, but yeah, he's the only actor to win 2 Oscars and the only actor to sell one of them.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
Wow.
And he's the first actor, the performer with a disability to ever win an Oscar.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
Now,
Marley
is it-
Matlin, I think, is the second, right?
Marley Matlin, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it because of this sale that you cannot own your
They
Oscar?
changed the rules
Is
because
that
of
because of
Harold.
him?
Yeah. Yes.
Because-
Yeah, because of him, yeah.
Because Spielberg or Scorsese bought the Oscar and gave it back to the Academy.
Yeah, somebody bought it and gave it back to him.
I think it was Spielberg who did that or Scorsese. And what they did is they passed a law. The Herald, they call it the Herald,
It's the Harold Russell.
the Harold Russell rule.
Yeah,
Where if you sell, you can't sell your Oscar because this belongs to the Academy, and upon death, we get it back.
yeah. You can will it or give it to your family, but it can never
Once
be sold.
it's outside of the family, it comes back to the Academy.
Right.
I think we should be able to keep them because if I ever win one, I just might need that.
I assure you that is not one of the 1,000 things you need
Hit
to
the
worry
pawn
about.
shop,
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll never see one at a pawn shop, will you?
So yeah, it's an interesting story. But to get back to it, 70 years ago, in 1947, when Harold Russell walked off the stage for the last time, I believe it was the producer, either David Wycliffe, one of them told him, or the director said, this acting thing with no hands, this is a fluke. There's not going to be any roles in Hollywood for a guy with no hands. You should go out and get a real job. And
By the way, how very helpful of them.
unfortunately, here we are 70 years later, and that's still true. So
But you know what? I mean, we had Craig on last week, and Craig was talking about, like there's stuff like for Borg and horror films where your arm can be torn off
Yeah.
and all that.
well, and
He's seen you on audition.
oh yeah, we run into each other. It's
You
like
beat him out
anytime-
on something.
Oh yeah, every time there's like for any actor with a disability. I don't care if they're supposed to be in a wheelchair or missing arms. Every agent they have sends every performer with this disability these auditions. I auditioned over a month ago now for Wisdom of the Crowd for somebody in a wheelchair. And the whole script was written so that the cops come in and the guy's sitting behind a desk and they go like, going to ask you some questions. And he reaches down to grab his wheels to roll back from the desk. And they go, keep your hands where I can see him. He goes, hey, I'm no threat to you. So it was written for somebody in a wheelchair, but yet they send a guy with no hands. But I was just watching a couple of weeks ago and saw the episode. And all of a sudden, the guy's saying these lines, and it went, hey, wait a minute, I know that, because that audition.
Don't you hate that?
Yeah.
If it's a commercial,
Those are my lines.
Yeah.
if it's a commercial, you came close on. My brother Donald will cover his ears and scream, and I'll just.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of crazy because, and I went, wait a minute. And I looked at the guy. I mean, it was only like 3 or 4 lines. It wasn't like a big scene or anything like that. And so, I mean, his delivery wasn't, all that great or anything than mine. So anyway, but I looked at him and he just had like this 4 or 5 day growth of beard, and that's why I'm growing this now. This isn't No Shave November or anything for
so
any
this
cause.
is in honor of the guy who beat you to a
Right.
roll.
Yeah. Because all it was, and he looked like he was an able-bodied guy, and he just walked with a forearm crutch, So, and that's part of the problem with Hollywood right now is that roughly 20% of the population, 18%, has some form of self-identified disability. It's some form of disability. Yet less than just about 1% of all the characters on television have some form of disability. Recent study said 1.7%, but they use the American with Disabilities Act as a guideline for what they chose as a disability. So if there was somebody in a hospital show that had cancer and had a speaking role, that counted as a character with a disability. Or if they had HIV or AIDS, then they were characterized as a disability. So it came up to about 1.7%. But out of that, a recent study by the Roterman Foundation just found out that 95% of all roles for characters with disability are done by able-bodied actors.
Wow. Yeah, Craig was talking about that as well. It's a little hurtful,
Well, but see, I don't have a problem with that. I still think the best actor should get the role. Okay, I 100% believe the best actor should get the role because there's nothing worse that's going to screw up a film or a television show than if you have a bad actor. A bad acting performance will kill it. So I believe that the best actor, whether they have a disability or not. But just as you were saying, there's roles for cyborgs and there's roles for getting your arms blown off in a James Gunn movie or whatever. But the thing is, I don't get called in for the dad roles, or I don't get called in for to play the lawyer or the banker or the teacher or whatever, who just could happen to be a guy missing his arms. So that's what hurts to me is because if I only get called in for the roles of the guy missing an arm or missing arms, I'm not going to get a lot of work. But if I can apply for the dad or the banker or the librarian, I look like a librarian. So, if I can apply for those jobs, then yeah, I'll get a lot more work.
Now let me ask you a question about American Horror Stories since you were on one episode. The little girl, she's not little. She's, decent size, but she's obviously
decent size, huh?
She obviously has Down syndrome.
Yes.
And she doesn't
That's Jamie
really,
Brewer, right?
We met her with you. She was on the Sheena Metal show.
But she does a great job, and she doesn't really play a Down syndrome person. They don't emphasize it.
Exactly.
But you could kind of tell she's off a little bit, which is fine.
Well, Jamie does have Down syndrome. She starred in my recent film that I did for the Disability Film Challenge called Whitney's Wedding. And she won Best Actress.
Oh, wow.
And
Jeff Sargent ran sound.
Jeff Sargent ran sound. That's
Did
another
he show up?
Yeah, but it's another problem. We had technical difficulties.
No,
with
of
that one,
course
too.
you did.
Hey, you guys.
But yeah, Jamie won Best Actor for that, and she's back in this year in this season of American Horror Story again.
Yeah,
But-
she's great.
She's played quite a few different roles in different seasons. And she's also, I'll give another plug, in a new sitcom on Amazon, available on Amazon streaming, which is an adult sitcom. I watched it last night or a couple of nights ago. It is an adult sitcom. Yes, TNA, but not from Jamie, but from the lead character.
What's
But,
it called for those of us trying to avoid such smut? Wink,
Yeah.
wink. And what time is it on so we don't accidentally come across it?
It's streaming on Amazon, and it's called Love You More. And it stars a comedian, and I can't think of her name right now. But it's really funny she runs a house where kids with Down syndrome live, or they come in, or it's like a school or a type thing. So Jamie Brewer plays one of the success stories. She goes around, I'm a success story for the house, and so it's funny. It's really funny. It's a great show. I watched the pilot the other night, but Jamie's starring on that as well. So
Wow, nice.
Yeah, somebody called in right when after I asked you that question. They said, "What about Jessica Lange? Have you worked with her?"
Yes, my actual scene was with Jessica Lange.
Wow. What was it like working with a three-time Oscar winner?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean,
There was a long pause there. Was it awesome or was it?
No, she was very nice. I mean, the particular scene that I was in with American Horror Story, it was sort of like in her character's tent. It was when Naomi Grossman's
Oh, I
character.
love Naomi Grossman. Pepper.
Yes,
She plays Pepper.
Pepper.
Naomi's very sweet.
Salty had just passed away, I think, and Naomi was Naomi's character was going through, Pepper was going through some, emotional times. So anyway, she was talking, it was a kind of a flashback scene where she was talking about how she put her tribe of misfits together, and her freak show. And I was playing one, and I was like signing a contract or whatever. But it was all Steadicam shots, so they had to rehearse the move and how they were going to do it 2 or 3 times. So we were sitting there, so we had a little time to talk. So I got to talk to her. We were just chatting away, and I was sitting hip to hip right next to her, and that was 2 or 3 years ago, and I still haven't watched that hip. But,
How tall is she? Is she a tall woman?
I don't remember. She's probably like 5'7", 5'8", but
Okay.
I really don't remember 5'9".
I'll buy her some heels. I like
Yeah.
tall women.
Yeah. But she was awesome. It was a great fun time, and everybody on set, the cast and crew, everybody I met on set was just awesome. I was there actually 2 different times. We shot right before Thanksgiving, the indoor scene, and then there was a scene where Salty and Pepper got married, and Ryan Murphy wanted to have me back at the marriage. So I went back to New Orleans again.
Which means Ryan Murphy, by the way, God bless him, it meant he kept you on. You were still getting paid through Thanksgiving break, right?
No.
Oh.
I wish.
So Ryan
No,
Murphy's nice, but not that nice.
Not that nice, yeah. No. I was down for like 3 or 4 days before Thanksgiving. Then we went to Thanksgiving break, and I just figured they wouldn't shoot the scene. And they called and said, no, they want you back. So I went back to New Orleans again and spent 3 or 4 more days, which that was terrible. Let me tell you what, having to spend 3 or 4 days in New Orleans, with food, scotch,
The food and drink. I mean,
and cigars.
did you do? So you did. Did you do?
Scotch and cigar.
Did you do Bourbon Street? Really do it? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that place amazing? I went with my dad and brothers.
It's great, and went down and had beignets.
You know what? When I was in the line for beignets, it was my godfather, Uncle Chet, my Aunt Nancy, my dad, and my brothers. We were right behind Joe Cox from RoboCop, the
Oh,
Greatest
wow,
American
yeah,
Hero.
yeah.
And I mean, everyone, because it was open all night, everyone was there at weird hours in the morning, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it is. It's kind of a city that doesn't sleep. And it's strange. It's so strange there because it's open container law.
Yeah,
you see people
they'll give you
just
the big
walking
cups.
down with big cups of beer or whatever, just down the street, and you're going, wow.
When they ring the cowbell, do you remember when they ring the cowbell and it's 3 in 1? You buy 1 drink and then they give you a long plastic tube and they fill it with 3 beers.
I don't know about that.
Wow.
I
was
don't
there
drink.
for that. That was pretty amazing. You don't drink?
I don't drink beer.
Wow.
Is it
Shame on you, Johnny.
Dan, you're not allowed to go to New Orleans.
No.
no, I won't go. I'll tell rehab stories.
Yeah, please,
Okay. Is it true about all the voodoo in New Orleans or in
As far as I know, yeah. I mean, there were just shops everywhere. I love the voodoo shops. I mean, you can just walk in, and I'm sure there's a lot of things behind closed doors that I didn't get to see either.
Did you go to Marie Laveau's grave, the voodoo queen of New Orleans?
I went to a couple of different grave sites. I've been to New Orleans 3 or 4 times.
You would know her grave, though. It's the one covered in X's, and they always leave booze as a tribute to her.
No, I don't think I went to that one.
I remember the graveyard from Easy Rider.
You know what? My dad and brothers Don and Steve and I went there that weekend, and they were coming up with some anniversary of Easy Rider, and the grave diggers were telling us they were not grave diggers; they're all above ground. But you know what I mean. The guy who worked in the cemetery said, "We got a statue with the Virgin Mary from Easy Rider where Peter Fonda crawls in her lap." Remember when he's having
That's where that was. I had no idea where
Tony
that was.
Basil from Hey Mickey is the other girl with him and Karen Black in that scene, by the way. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that either.
They were telling us we're going to close. Next week was like some anniversary of Easy Rider. I'll try and find that shot. And I actually hurt my, well, that's story for another time. but anyway, they were going to close for the week of the Easy Rider anniversary, because they said 400-pound bikers in tractor boots would climb up on this beautiful marble statue to sit in her lap, in the Virgin Mary's lap, and they said they were effing up they were effing it up, so they closed the cemetery, the entire cemetery, to prevent that from happening.
Wow.
I'm looking for my sensor horn so you can say, "Oh, the horn is not here, Dan."
I didn't take it.
It's that idiot and Jimmy. What are the names?
Forget about it.
The Roy and Jimmy show was on last night,
Those
so
POSs took our horn. We have a swearing horn, John Lawson,
Oh, I see.
and we
We always
it.
honk it. That's part of our shtick here.
Oh, I
But
see.
as an uncle, I try to clean up my language whenever possible.
Yeah, well, I've been an uncle for a long time, but I don't know. I usually have pretty clean language anyway. I do a lot of stand-up comedy, and they always go, keep it TV clean.
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
TV clean.
My littlest
Which-
nephews are 6 and 9, so I'm always trying to self-censor.
Yeah.
You know.
But you know what? I actually do my whole stand-up shtick, and I found out it works just as well. I mean, I don't have to use a lot of bad words.
Have you ever gotten a gig to a stand-up gig?
Have I?
Yeah, an acting gig after they saw you do stand-up.
No. I guess my stand-up's not that good.
yeah, I don't curse a lot, and that's on purpose, because when I do, my son knows that I'm really pissed. He's like, "Mom, Dan's cussing." She goes, "Well, you better go run and hide because he's on a rampage, you know?" And I'm like, "You little mother effer, I'm gonna kill you." And he's like, "Oh, Dad's cussing."
I think I did in my younger years because my daughter's now 26, and she definitely has a worse mouth than I do.
Trucker. We call it trucker mouth.
So tell us about doing the vampire flick Immortally Yours with the great Martin Cove.
Oh, that was a crazy time. I think my scene got edited out, which I'm pretty glad it did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Was the movie that bad?
Oh yeah, it was that bad. I went to this was early in my career, and the director guy was sort of I don't know if we'd say shady, but it was not. I think the first 5 lines on the budget paid him. You know, as executive producer, writer, associate producer, director. You know, that was the first 4 or 5 lines of the budget.
If you got 7 credits and you're not Quentin Tarantino, there's something amiss.
Yeah. That was the first 7 lines of the budget. So, but yeah, I got my little role got edited out, which that was about, gosh, that was a long time ago. But
Still.
yeah. So I watched the film. And I go, you know what? I got to be a little more selective of the roles that I take.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
It was really that bad.
So it's going like, I hope they do edit me out.
Yeah. You know, and thank God it's probably not available on DVD or been digitized anywhere. So hopefully it never pops up. So, but that was a lot. It was fun time. It was fun being on set. It was a lot of late night shoots, but Martin Cove, you know, it's like sweep the leg. You know?
Yeah. By the way, Martin Cove is such a cool ass dude. He's done everything. He was on the first episode of The Incredible Hulk. He was on the original Last House on the Left. The guy's done everything.
Yeah, he really has. This was definitely one of the films, though, where it was sweep the leg.
Wow.
It really was.
So his two-dimensional bad guy to pay the rent.
Yeah, it's about what it was.
Wow, poor guy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I've done, you know, a few different TV shows. I was on the original Law and Order many years ago.
Yeah, tell us about that Special Victims Unit.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
Who breaks you? Or you were passenger number 2?
Yeah, I was like passenger number 2, I think. But I did have a line, and I still get residuals from
Keep
that.
it down, or something like that, right?
Yeah, that still runs in syndication, and I swear to God, I still get residual checks, and that had to be
great, man.
10 years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
I did a bit on NCIS with my brother Donald. And I would know whenever that NCIS ran because anybody over 60 would stop me on the street.
Yeah.
I saw you on NCIS. And it's like, wow.
Yeah, I get that every once in a while. You know, somebody will contact me on Facebook and they'll say, "Oh, I just saw you on Law and Order."
Yeah. And it'll usually be a 70-year-old grandma.
Yeah. Well, it was in winter. We shot, I don't remember. It was winter in New York. And
Did you have a scene with Mark Harmon? Was he on the plane or?
Mine was supposed to be with Mariska.
But the effects guy in my last movie was in love with her.
Oh, really?
And he would watch every episode of that series. God bless you, Bill Munns.
Yeah.
He would watch every episode of the series. And we were on location, so I would walk 3 miles in the town because we're in this big cabin.
Yeah.
And I would always give about 10 minutes into every episode to tell him before I left, white guy did it. Always the white guy in that show, remember?
Yeah.
No matter who looked irresponsible, it was the white millionaire behind the tree.
That did it. But yeah, so I was supposed to shoot like 2 or 3 different scenes in that particular episode. And the first day, I got on set Monday. We were shooting. We were in the little para bus, and I delivered the line. And then there was another scene where Mariska...
Was she cool?
I didn't get to see her. I mean, because that night they called for 30 inches of snow in New York. Yeah. So I get off set on Monday. They go, "Look, we're not going to shoot the other scene because it was an exterior and they wouldn't match because one day it was sunny and no snow on the sidewalk." And so they
Did
cut
that crush you a little bit?
Yeah, it cut me because I was like, God, I want this for my reel. You know, this is going to propel my career. I'll be famous forever. So
wake up, you delusional fool!
Yeah. Well, I'm an actor. All actors are delusional.
Isn't that terrible? On the way to the car, you've convinced yourself in your head.
Yes. So if I could just do this scene with Mariska Hargitay, I will be famous.
I will be practicing my Emmy speech all the way to
exactly. 210. So but I had to be out here in LA for another TV gig or something.
By the way, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, on Wednesday. It was a very strange thing. It only happened once in my life.
By the way, cherish that moment.
Yeah. So so I'm like on the phone trying my best to get a flight out of New York. And the only flight I could get was for like Tuesday morning, and the snow was supposed to come in early that morning. And so I get up, I get to the airport at 5, and the plane's at 6, and I swear to God, it was an LA crew. It was like a flight back. It was a red eye from LA to New York, and then they were flying back. And I'm making the reservation, and the reservation clerk says, "Well, you know, this is no refund. If it doesn't go, you're not going to get refunded or anything." I went, "Look, it's an LA crew. They're not going to spend the next 3 days in New York, snowed in New York." So sure enough, I mean, we got the plane. As soon as people were deplaning, they were almost putting us on the plane.
Wow.
They de-iced the plane at the end of the runway, and the thing took off, and I landed in L.A.
And you were right, too, because no crew is going to sit in snow and they can go home.
They actually, and it was like the airports were shut down for like 2 days because they did get like 30 inches of snow overnight. Wow. So it was crazy. It was quite a few years ago, but yeah. So I made it out to L.A., and I was in sunny L.A.
You made your Wednesday gig?
Yeah, whenever it was. Yeah, I had like a Wednesday or Thursday that I was supposed to be out here. So it was kind of crazy, but that's the only time that's ever happened.
Yeah, but it happened.
Yeah, it
You
was
know?
kind of fun. It makes a story to tell on the radio.
It's when you're on location and the AD comes, the PA comes over and gives you your per diem, and it's just the happiest feeling in
Yeah.
the world, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's your rolling. That's your rolling money when you're in town on location.
Yeah.
You
Per
know?
diem is good.
Yeah,
Per diem is great.
is good.
You pay, your food, your housing.
Well, it was kind of cool, but it was a fun trip. But that was Law and Order. That was SVU. I did a Law and Order even before then.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
the
Hold on.
original Law and Order.
Really?
Yeah, I was like Army vet or Navy vet or
Oh
Army
yeah,
veteran.
you were. You were Navy Vet 1.
Yeah, Navy Vet 1. Yeah, I've had some really important characters in my life that have
Hey,
been really
smart-ass.
pivotal in the, they've been real pivotal in the storyline of the episode.
Navy Vet 1 was very important to the plot, I'm sure.
Yes, it was, but it was kind of fun. It was almost like, this is when I lived in Ohio and Cincinnati, and if you did not have a Law and Order credit and you lived east of the Mississippi, you were nobody.
It's like,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
No, he's right. It's like being in Baltimore and having never done like Law and Order or a John Waters movie.
It's true, you have to have Law and Order if you leave east of the Mississippi. So.
Every Pittsburgh actor I've ever met or worked with, I will ask him, okay, what George Romero movie did you do?
Yeah.
And some of them will hold their heads in shame and tell you about the addition that went wrong for a George Romero movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like even the voice of BB-8, the guy from Saturday Night Live, he did a movie in Pittsburgh. He did Adventureland in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And he said he kept running around looking for crew people who'd worked with George Romero. He was a huge George Romero fan, and everybody either had worked with somebody who worked with him or, you know what I mean? I mean, he goes 2 months in this movie and I didn't run into a single George Romero crewman. He was really bummed.
Because they all had to move out to work, probably.
Yeah, because Romero moved to Canada. So all his movies moved to Canada.
Moved to Canada.
But we're still set in Pittsburgh, which is kind of a douchey thing to do.
Well, I did a TV series, not a TV series, but like a movie of the week kind of thing.
Was that Father Dominic?
No, I did not a Time to Kill. I can't remember what it was with John Leguizamo, Donnie Wahlberg. Can't even remember the name of the thing.
When did you do it?
It was called. Gosh, I can't remember.
Is it The Pledge?
Huh?
The Pledge?
No, that was a movie I shot in West Virginia.
Really?
Yeah. Gosh, I can't think of the name of the TV show. It was with John Leguizamo.
Shooter? Oh, yeah.
Shooter, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a,
Amputee veterans.
Yeah.
Really stretching out of your comfort zone.
it was another very pivotal part of the film. But yeah, so I actually still get some residuals from that as well.
How was Leguizamo?
Hi, Marilyn.
Hey, Marilyn.
Marilyn, she's our guest for Thursday.
Oh, the lovely Marilyn Gigliotti. I won't be here, but I'll miss you, baby.
John was cool. He was a really cool guy. He was just fun on set. My scene was with him. He played one of the bad guys that had robbed the bank, and they were Army veterans, and they were trying to rob the bank, but they came out and said they were trying to make it for to get flat jackets for the guys and all this kind of stuff. And I play one of the Army veterans that doesn't really believe that they were doing this, And so I have my one line with John Leguizamo. So.
Wow, bravo.
Yeah. But he was really cool.
Okay. He's funny. I love that guy, man.
He
He's
is
a great
funny.
character.
My brother had sold the script to Steven Spielberg, and Leguizamo wanted to be in it. And my brother was just so thrilled that he loved the script. You know what I mean?
That's
Tom
cool.
goes, I'm ready to rewrite it for him. You know what I mean? And for
Yeah.
whatever reason, they didn't get Leguizamo, and
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He was really fun. We shot that in Pittsburgh. That was shot in Pittsburgh.
oh, wow. Did you ride the funicular?
The
Did you
what?
ride the incline?
No, but I've been in
He's a
Pittsburgh
New
lot,
Yorker,
but I did,
you know?
yeah. I didn't ride the incline, no, but
Boo.
I've been in Pittsburgh a lot.
No, F you. If you didn't ride the incline, you haven't been to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I was close one time.
Beep you.
Yeah. But
You got to ride the GD incline, Johnny.
yeah. Well, we used to. I was a member of AFTRA.
Oh, please.
And
Now it's
Pittsburgh.
two great it was a two great guilds, one great union.
Yes, that's what it is now. It's SAG-AFTRA, correct. But in the beginning, I was a member of AFTRA. I started out doing like a little soap opera many years ago. But anyway, I was a member of AFTRA, and I was on the board, and our board meetings were in Pittsburgh.
Wow.
So yeah, Cincinnati was sort of out in the Pittsburgh area.
Oh, so you were from Cincinnati originally, right?
No, originally from North Carolina,
What part? Nags Head?
about 90 miles northeast of Nags Head.
I love Nags Head. We used to
Yeah.
camp there as kids.
Yeah. So I lived in Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina, a little small cotton mill town about 3 miles south of Virginia border and about 90 miles from the coast.
No,
That's
no,
why
it's
it says Roanoke. Roanoke is in Virginia, right?
That's Roanoke, Virginia, but I lived in Roanoke Rapids.
Hang on,
Rapids, which
smartass.
is-
How
okay.
close to the DEG studios?
They were down in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Yes, sir, they were.
Which were 180 miles away, something like no, maybe
Wow.
not that far. About a 2.5, 3 hour drive.
Which is why they went and wound up shooting Dawson's Creek.
Yes, they shot Dawson's Creek, whole bunch of stuff there many years ago.
So how long have you been in SoCal?
Yeah, good question, Danny. Thank you.
I've been here off and on part time for about 10 years.
Wow.
But I moved out full time about 3 years ago.
Well, good man. You don't miss home, do you?
No, I think it's like 30 degrees or minus 30
Believe
degrees in
that.
Cincinnati right now. But I lived in Cincinnati for 22 years. My wife that passed away got
I'm so sorry.
transferred there with her job, and we lived there. And then after she passed, I stayed there, raised my kids, and my kids are still there. My son works for Duke Energy there.
What does your daughter do?
My daughter is a logistics specialist for a like a warehousing and trucking company there, ODW. And my son works for Duke Energy there. He's a computer programmer dude. So yeah, he crosses the I's and dots the T's and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, both of my kids are still there. But you know, they're real supportive. They know I sort of kind of put everything on hold for 30 years while, you know, while I was raising my kids. And
How do they feel about their father, the bohemian actor?
yeah, they kind of like it. You know, they always sort of know. I just recently last weekend I sang on stage at the Hollywood Bowl.
Did you really?
Yeah, in the Willy Wonka live.
You
That's
were in Willy
right, the
Wonka. What'd you do in Willy Wonka?
Yeah. Yeah, I was one of the singers. I was one of the Oompa Loompa singers.
With Weird Al Yankovic.
With Weird Al, yeah.
Uncle Jesse, John Stamos.
John Stamos, yeah. He
That
played
had-
Willy Wonka.
That had
so-
been great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, you know,
I love the bowl.
it was cool to see it from the opposite side for a change.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
from backstage.
Now, John, he is an opera singer.
did not know that.
John,
Yeah.
he's a good opera singer. He does musicals and operas on stage.
Yeah. I used to sing professionally quite a bit, but
I did not know that about you.
yeah. So that's how I started. Actually, was as a singer, and
Because I met you through our dear friend Sheena Metal.
yeah. I actually started singing. I sang opera professionally for 10 years, and I got tired of singing in a foreign language and having people yell at me in English. So, yeah. I kind of crossed over. I mean, I'd always done musical theater and crossed over and started doing sort of, you know, off Broadway and off Broadway and like, you know, off Broadway in New Jersey. And so, you know, just got more into musical theater and then went to a TV audition and got into doing TV. I did like a one-liner in a little soap opera, you know, like, here's your package. You know, but it got me my union card. You
By the
know.
way, that's all it takes is one. I wrote a commercial for David Lynch and my brothers.
Yeah.
And we read it for him, and I got cast in it. And it was like, wow, I was trying to get in the Writers Guild. So
Yeah.
to wind up in the Screen Actors Guild was pretty cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's how I got my union card many, many years ago.
Congratulations,
and,
brother.
Yeah, I just kept on going, and I go, hey, I like this better, you know?
Yeah, a lot of our guests that we have on are actors that have made it. Not, you know, we don't have Brad Pitt in or Tom
Let's
Cruise.
not run
anything.
down our guests, Danny.
But we have great actors on, and they're great, and they get good work. But a lot of them started off in soap operas.
Yeah. Yeah, well, mine was a one-liner, you know. But
Yeah,
There's no
that's
small
all it
part.
takes.
That's all it takes.
but yeah, so but that's where it got started, and then soon after I did, you know, Immortally Yours, vampire stuff, got cut out of that. Thank God. If you ever get a chance to see it, the 4 heads or 5 heads floating around in the space with earth in the background, that'll singe it for you.
One of them is one of them yours?
No. That was the Illuminati guys. Yeah, I wasn't quite
Oh,
old
that
enough.
figures.
Yeah, I wasn't old enough and didn't have enough white hair back then to play that. But yes, if you want to laugh at severe, anyway. But that was early. Luckily, you won't see me in it because I was edited out, and that's the best thing that ever happened.
Talk about Father Dominic.
Oh, that was a really cool film I did many, many years ago. Immortally Yours. No, that was a different one.
You just crabbed all over it.
Finale, yeah. Finale was the one where I played Father Dominic. And I played this corrupt priest who let the Satan worshipers or the worshipers meet in the undercroft of the church. So we shot that in Cincinnati. A very talented director, John Michael Elfers, and we're still really good friends. I see him out here all the time, and he is a true horror genre leader. I mean, he still likes to shoot on film. He's a very fan of the Italian and German masters. And
Fulci and all those guys.
Yeah. And so he's an awesome dude, really cool character guy, and I remember I was shooting 2 different films in Cincinnati at that time, kind of small budget, low budget films, and one I think was Immortally Yours. It was about the same time, and one was Finale with John Michael Elfers. And so we used to have this big Christmas party at my house, and we had all the leaders, civic leaders, and all this kind of crap, and the Rotary Club, and all that. So I invited these 2 directors to come over to my house. I thought this would be cool. A little bit of Hollywood.
They didn't like each other, did they?
Well, not a lot, but it was just, John came dressed all in black, with his chain wallet, and his black bowler.
Oh, no.
John, sort of his signature is this black bowler. And another little side note, when I did American Horror Story, I was sitting with Jessica Lange, and when I was in costuming, they showed me 2 different hats. And there was this black bowler that like John Elfers always wears. And she goes, you can pick either one you want. And I go, I'm going to take that one.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
always pick the bowler.
Yeah, well, so I picked
My
that.
favorite hat.
It's sort of an homage to John
Did he
Michael.
know? Did he see
I
right
told
now?
him about it. I sent him a text, and so he saw it, so it was kind of cool. But so yeah, it's a little tie there. But it was a great film, and it's available on probably DVD and somewhere. But it's called Finale.
Wow. And now tell us a little more about American Horror Story. You mentioned the creator, Ryan Murphy.
Yes.
How was he? Did you like him?
He was awesome. I mean, like I said, they. I found out from the casting director. My manager said they
The place by Universal. Yeah.
They contacted
No, well.
him, and they contacted Joe, and he said, "Look, they want to know about you for this role. Should they saw your picture or whatever?" But he says, they're like it's a local. They want to pay you like local. And I said, well, tell them I live in L.A. I'll be glad. Or at that time I was in Ohio. I said, I'll be glad to come down, but I'm not going to work as an extra. So I get down there and I meet the casting director, the local casting director in New Orleans. And she goes, we gave him pictures of men, women, amputees, everything. He said he saw your picture and he wanted you.
Wow.
So I don't know what it was, my smile or my hairdo or something, but Ryan picked me for the role. And like I said, had me come back again for a second take down there. And it was an awesome time. I loved doing the wedding scene when Salt and Pepper got married was awesome. And we were all dancing around having a good time. So it was a lot of fun. That was a fun scene to shoot.
Wow.
How long did that? How many hours did you work on that scene?
I don't know. Daylight to dark.
It was an all-day thing just to get that scene.
To get that scene. It was a good half a day or all day. It was cool too because it was outside. It was outside of New Orleans, and they had a whole, the whole outdoor set that you saw with the merry-go-rounds, the tents, the old trucks, and everything. It was everything was a set. It was really cool. The outdoor part of it.
Right.
Did you work with Kathy Bates at all? Did you get to meet her?
No, I didn't get to meet Kathy Bates, and I didn't get to work. My scene was
Naomi, you worked with Naomi Grossman, though, who played Pepper. I love her. Additionally.
We've run into her, Pat and I, when we do conventions, and
Right.
we had a great little conversation with her, man.
And Naomi's
Adorable.
great.
adorable.
I recently ran into her. They had a like a costume display at one of the museums in Hollywood, and it was American Horror Story costumes. And my fiance and I went there just to go look around, check it out. I don't know. We were somewhere. And Naomi walked in, and it was kind of cool.
Wow.
I think even on the poster you made for the show today,
Yeah,
that was
a picture of you and Naomi. yeah.
Naomi at that particular costume.
Okay, now, correct me if I'm wrong, but if my memory serves me correct,
You're
which
wrong.
which is not very good.
Your memory is not serving you at all, Dan.
My
But
memory never serves me.
Salt and Pepper are the two pinheads in the Freak Show. Am I not correct?
Absolutely
Right,
correct.
exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. That was, and it's.
Are they sweet? Are they good? They seem like sweet people.
Well, they're not real pinheads. They're actually very nice people.
Yeah. Well, actually, the gentleman that played Pepper,
No, salty.
or played
Pepper's Naomi.
I mean, yeah, played Salty. Sorry, he died tragically.
Oh no!
A couple years ago.
didn't
That
yeah.
was
know
Ben,
that.
wasn't it?
Yeah, Ben.
Okay, I did it. I
Did he
worked
get
with
hit
Ben.
by a car or something?
Yeah, he was walking his dog.
A bus.
He got
bus
clipped by a
mirror.
bus while he was walking.
Yeah.
While he was biking with his dog, right?
Yeah, yeah, and the mirror hit him.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Just
That
the
was
mirror
little
of that hit
Ben.
him.
Yeah.
And killed him. It killed him. But his dog lived.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
which is what he would have. He would have wanted the dog
Yeah.
at least to make it through.
Yeah. So I mean,
That's sad,
I didn't
yeah.
know Ben, but I got to meet him just briefly. But yeah, it was
Met
kinda
him on the
sad.
set of Eagle Heart. He was a very sweet guy.
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know?
an eagle. He was, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I
and-
love that.
Yeah.
Adult Swim.
Right, right. Well,
Yeah.
Adult Swim is my my home away from home. But wow, yeah,
Yeah.
So I didn't realize Ben was on American Horror Story.
Yeah. He played Salty.
Wow. Yeah, Ben was a little person, but he was very, very sweet.
Yeah. And then
And he was very, very sweet. I shouldn't say but.
yeah. So I've run into Pepper, run into Naomi quite a few times in different places.
She's
we run into-
adorable. You know, I like Naomi.
she's very sweet, very talented. She's
think
just,
it was-
That's when we all met. When it was at Sheena's party.
You know,
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
She
all of
was
us
just
were
so sweet. And I think I met you the first time. We were both in the waiting room for Sheena's metal radio show one time. You remember that?
I not. Well, when we did it at
Yeah.
the Hollywood.
Before that, though, there was one where you came to see her at the station. You sure?
No,
Yeah, 'cause-
I've never been to the station.
Sheena's waiting room is great because there's a porn therapist in the same station.
Ah, cool.
So you're in the lobby with a bunch of super tan people with super white teeth.
Can you get me in there? Can you get
That's
me
a
on the
question
show?
for Sheena.
Yeah. Actually, Sheena has asked me to be on the show quite a few times, and we just haven't ever gotten the date
We're gonna
worked
have
out.
to get her on our show.
Yeah.
You know, Sheena is beyond awesome. I mean, but when you do a radio show, she's got these big honking headphones, and you get the VIP parking.
Oh yeah.
Anytime you get to park in Burbank without being on the street is great.
Well, I got VIP
Which-
parking here. It was
Oh,
great.
hey,
Yeah,
that's
I-
one thing about Rancho Cucamonga. There's always a place to park.
Yeah.
Coming out to the Jeff Sargent show, hey, there's no traffic.
There's no traffic there. It wasn't bad.
We only charge $50 for parking, and you
That
get
that
us-
pays my
you-
Beverly Hills
yeah,
parking
you
ticket.
get to pay me.
Yeah,
I got
and
that.
I'll give it to Jeff.
Yeah.
I got that, John, when we went to the that Beverly Hills theater for the
Oh really?
yeah, they ticketed me for no front license plate.
Oh yeah.
Can you believe that
I-
shit?
Yeah, I remember that.
I've had my car for about 8 years and I've never had a license plate on my front of my car.
I tell you, driving in LA, I've driven literally all over the world. From New York, I've driven downtown. I've been in Manhattan. I've driven in Jamaica, which was interesting. But that was many years ago.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. There were these kids on the side of the
Feeling
street.
kind of irie, man.
Yeah, they were selling this really weird smelling cigarettes. But anyway, yeah, but in California, I swear it is the craziest thing coming on the 210 East. A driver will pass a sign on the road that says, merge to the left, your lane is ending. And then they'll pass another sign that has a big arrow. And then on the road will be painted 2 giant arrows saying, getting your boop over because your lane ends. So I get over, and then hole comes up and comes all the way up and then gets mad at me and shoots me the bird because I won't let him in front of me because his lane ends. But behind me, there's not a single car. But if he gets one
This is
car
Jamaica?
in
This
front-
is Jamaica?
No, this is L.A. on the 210 this morning at dark 30.
This is happening right now, Janky.
Listen. Southern California, for all its wonderful, wonderful things, it's the only state in the union where the turn signal is considered a sign of weakness.
Right. And it is. It is crazy.
People will speed up to cut you off every time.
You know, and I live in Northridge, so I have to.
It's great capital.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a shaken place. But I have to travel the 405 a lot.
Oof.
Yeah, I hate that.
Oh,
No,
that
that's
place
the first
sucks.
sign that God has turned his back on humanity.
Yes,
To be at the 405 by that 7-Eleven, I mean, by that Holiday Inn.
It doesn't
You know,
no matter
the
what
the
they
twin-
did. All that construction, they add 2 more lanes. It's just you're
It's
gonna
still
have
bad.
2 more lanes of traffic.
Exactly. When you go between the Getty Center and the
Oh,
Skirball
that's
Center,
what I'm talking about. Where,
up the hill, yes.
by where Bill
All the
Cosby's
extra
son was
lanes-
shot. Yeah, it was
it
horrible.
took them 10 years to build 2 extra lanes. But anyway, I don't care what time of day or night you go, they slow down. The
And that's
traffic
some
slows.
of it. But when you get by that Holiday Inn, that garbage can shaped Holiday Inn,
Oh yeah.
that's when you're really screwed.
They're still doing construction there too.
They've been doing construction there for 20 damn years.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't care when you go by the Getty Center, which way it is, north or south, 6 lanes of traffic can be running 80 miles an hour.
Yes.
And soon as they start up the
Dead
hill,
stop.
they slow down to 45.
Because everybody is trying to get over from different lanes. And even at like 1 in the afternoon, it's
know.
like, what the hell is going
At
on?
1
What-
o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It's the
You know
craziest-
what? That's the hub for insurance company, insurance claims for
Yeah.
rear end.
I cannot believe it. It is. It's crazy. The collective hive slows down when they
Yes.
go up a hill.
Yes.
So I think there's something in the dirt there that actually affects the ECM, the electronic control
Awful.
module in the cars and makes
Yeah.
them go.
You never
think
struck
it's
me
what
as a black helicopter type, John, but
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I think that's
Don't
what
get it.
actually happens.
John Lawson talking about the Illuminati if you're just tuning into the Jeff Sargent show.
Traffic right now.
I what? Hey, you guys! I wonder. No phone call yet from Tom Downey, our other actor
We
friend.
got our boy
No.
here.
I know, we got our
Don't
boy.
worry about it.
but he's probably busy. I know
let
he's
him,
on
hey,
the road.
Let him call in tomorrow if that's the case. We got Johnny here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
let's
you've
see.
got an almost famous actor.
Hey, you're famous to us, baby. You are an American Horror Story. Well,
Yeah, that's famous enough. You had conversations with just Jessica Lange.
Yeah,
so-
Yes, I did.
you had
Yeah.
to, once Dan the Man Rupp heard you were in smelling distance of Jessica Lange.
I was just watching her on Cape Fear the other night, and I've been lusting in my mind for Jessica Lange.
She's great in that movie. I mean, Cape
Yeah.
Fear. Cape
How
Fear-
did they do her leg, her false leg? No.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like Hollywood is really quick to remove limbs, but they don't apply the same CGI or green screen to put limbs back on.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Gary Sinise and
Yeah.
Forrest Gump and the
Forrest
pictures of
Gump.
him on set in the blue sock to take his legs away.
Yeah.
I noticed that one play you were doing. You had regular hands. You had regular.
Yeah. I have like prosthetic hands.
Yeah,
that
for
look real.
doing where
Yeah.
it doesn't require.
Right. The hooks.
disability.
They
Yeah.
said I could use the hooks, but I was doing Footloose and I played the preacher. Now you're talking about a stretch.
John
I
Lithgow.
didn't
man.
know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
you're talking about a stretching role for me to play a minister. Oh, there's a
You were already Father Dominic.
yeah, there was an acting stretch for me right there. But I played the minister in Footloose, and it's a role that I'd always wanted to play. It was great. Did it at the Palm Theater there in Palm Springs, the Palm whatever it's called.
Yeah. It's right by that great sandwich shop.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's right by the water fountain too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Not too far from the Marilyn Monroe statue.
Yeah.
And Ruby's. It's
Everything
right by
is really
Ruby's.
close.
Yeah.
But I did it at the Palm Desert Theater is the name of it.
Now,
And
how long were you in Palm Springs?
just for long enough to do the show because this was in the summer, and I remember coming out of rehearsal one night out of the theater. It was like 10:30, and 10 o'clock at night, and it was 110 degrees.
I did a teen sex comedy there for a month, and your first day in Palm Springs is really exciting. And then you're like in Vietnam, you're just marking time to get the hell out of there. 'Cause it's too damn hot.
It was crazy. I mean, it's the only place in the world where downtown is the only way they can get people to shop downtown in the summer is with putting misters up. I mean, the whole
Yes,
town
yes.
has misters that cools the air.
Every other street was named after Sonny Bono. Did you notice that?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the off time there is summer. You know,
Yes.
vacation time there is
110,
winter.
120.
Yeah.
I remember
So-
we lived at that. There was a Harkins 14 movie theater, and it was the best air conditioned place in Palm Springs. And any off time, we were just running to the movies to sit in the lobby.
Just to sit in the lobby. But yeah, it was kind of crazy. You know, you come out at 10 o'clock at night, it's 110, 115 degrees. But it was a great show, great theater, great people. I love playing the preacher in Footloose. He's the only character that really changes. And it was a great cast, and they had a bunch of folks that could dance and sing, and it was a really good show.
Yeah, I used to work out in Palm Springs, and in the winter, that's when the snowbirds come out.
Yeah.
I'm not being racist, but all the
No,
Jews,
no.
all
Any,
the,
any sentence sounding like that should be stopped immediately. Once that line comes up,
all the Jews
Don't-
from New York
don't
come
do
out to
this.
Palm Springs. I mean,
address your letters to Dan the Man Rob.
Yeah, because he's what, a quarter? You're a quarter Jew, aren't you?
I am, so I can say whatever I want. It's like a black guy telling a black joke. You know, I don't tell black jokes, but I can
For the
tell
love of God,
Jewish jokes.
please stop. Some of us
But
occasionally
no,
work-
it's true. I mean, there's a huge the Passover celebration in Palm Springs. That's the company I worked for, and it was huge down there. And I talked to people there, and they're like, "Yeah, we're from New York." I'm like, "Whoa."
Yeah.
They're like, "Yeah, New York wintertime, we get the F out and we come out here to our timeshare or to my, our condo we own out here."
Were you still living there? Where's that town you lived in?
I lived in Beaumont.
Beaumont. No, yeah.
Wow.
So that was a pretty quick
Bumfuck
drive for you.
Egypt.
Yeah, it was just like 20 minutes or so. But yeah,
get there.
Beaumont's even the name of the town in the show Footloose. It's spelled
Really?
different. Yeah, it's spelled different, but it was kind of a weird connection. But yeah, they're in Beaumont, I don't know, some other Iowa or something.
What was your qualifications for being cast? Being having a 1 in your 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon? Did that help?
No, that didn't help at all. It had to do more with being able to sing, I think.
Hey, our buddy Richie, remember a funny guy, Richie? He's all, I'm in Palm Springs right now, and I just got pooped on by one of them snowbirds.
No.
Hey, Richie, what's up, brother?
Okay, I got a request from somebody just down south in San Diego. They said, "Let's hear this guy sing some a cappella."
I don't know that song.
The best part of waking up
Yeah,
is
it's,
Folgers in your car.
They weren't asking you, Jeff.
Yeah. Pat, I could probably use another cup of coffee.
Coming right up.
You know, 2 cups of coffee.
Do you want this black or do you want some pumpkin spice in there?
No, just regular coffee. I like my coffee like my women.
Oh,
From a third world country and at a reasonable price.
Yeah, third one.
Address your letters to John Lawson.
yeah.
I thought you were going to say black like my nightmares.
That wasn't me talking. You can't blame me for that one. That was our guest.
I didn't start with this as racist. No, I like coffee for being coffee, and I don't like decaf coffee.
No, that defeats the whole
I
purpose.
mean,
but
it's like, do you go into a restaurant and say, "Hey, can I have some orange juice without the orange?"
yeah, that's like going, yeah, I'll have a no duels.
Well, it's like
Well, that's
decaf
if
coffee.
you really like the beer taste and you want to,
a beer. Decaf coffee, that's like, taking your sister to the prom. She might be hot, but it ain't going to get your heart racing.
no, hell no.
I want my caffeine. I need caffeine.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I have to drink decaf. All that decaf coffee in there is that's all mine.
What about tea? Oh, Dan, do you drink tea?
Decaffeinated green tea I drink.
Decaffeinated green tea?
Yes.
Oh, the tea has caffeine too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, your life is pretty dull.
Yeah. I could go on and tell you my whole story.
But Dan is
It's
alive.
alive now because it was so exciting before this.
Yeah. No, I can't have caffeine.
We
Can't-
need to keep producer Dan alive.
I can't have caffeine. I can't have sodium. I can't have too much sugar. I've got to watch everything I do. Everything I buy at the store is low sodium. It's very boring.
What about? Are you a gluten-free guy or what? Do you-
Yeah, gluten free. Everything's got to be fresh and.
Oh man.
He does.
But you can't have scotch and cigars because scotch is gluten free,
No.
and so are cigars.
No, the whole reason for my strict diet is I have cirrhosis and I can't have any of that stuff. So I just, I got to do what my doctor tells me to, or else
or he won't be here.
This booth will be empty, and I don't know who's going to run the show. I got 5 computers here I'm running, and
And he's not an engineer.
and I'm not even an engineer.
He's just a producer.
I was hired on as a salesman, and I ended up being a guest host.
Yeah,
and then,
now I got to go as your henchman. We got to go collect today.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy was ready. It's just Dan. I've got to help him. I got to help him get around. And let's do this tag team effort here. And all we got to do, because he runs 2 breweries. He's got the Rock House as well as the Cigar Exchange and Wine Merchant. So we just got to catch him in between. I'll call him on the phone, and then we'll meet him.
We'll set up a time. In the meantime, I left Dutchy, a check. So
Yeah.
we're fine.
Oh, okay. Oh, you did.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
And then I'm just going to take that out from Dutchy's check.
All right. Thanks for being a producer. Thank you. Pat, get your ass in here. We got a show to do.
I produce some money.
Gregorius guest is getting his coffee.
You know.
One of my many abilities.
Yeah, you big ass monster.
He doesn't even need a microphone. He could do the show from out there.
No, John. When we're at conventions, we're at Comic-Con and stuff like that, and they go, "Have you seen Pat?" And we split up. He's like, "No, I think I heard him about 3 aisles over."
Yeah. I mean, all you got to do is get on a chair and stand over everybody else's head and look for his head.
Yeah, look at his head in the crowd surfing. But usually you can hear him before you see him.
I remember, I think I met Pat at the Hollywood Improv for one of Sheena's shows.
Yeah.
And I
That's
think
when
that's where we
Aaron was
first met.
there, and Aaron was a little shorter than
Yeah.
she's 6'7".
And I look,
She's 6'7" or 6'8"?
oh, you're talking about Erica.
Erica.
Yeah, Erica is 6'8".
Oh, she's 6'8".
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's 6'9". She's 1 inch
I'm
young.
taller than her,
Yeah.
You're 1 inch.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah. She's 1 inch shorter than he is.
She was also an American Horror Story.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she played Amazon Eve on American Horror Story, and really good friend of mine as well. And hey, Erica. So
Big ups to Eric, although I am taller than you.
yeah, that's right.
Steve
But I'm going
Joyner
to get
is
my
tuning in.
co-host.
Oh, Steve Joyner is still watching us. Hey, Steve. Say hi, John.
Hey, Steve.
So, John, what is the most exciting gig you have ever done?
Oh wow, the most exciting. I don't know. I think it would have to be this past weekend with Willy Wonka.
Wow, on stage at a sold-out Hollywood
Yeah,
Bowl.
What's
singing-
it like to look out from the audience? Can
It's-
you see the audience?
No, well, you
because the
couldn't see
lights are
audience.
shining.
Yeah.
In
But before that, you could. I mean, when people were just
And it
first
was filled
starting to
up.
come, it was
Every
filled
seat
up.
was
I think
taken.
it was over 18,000.
And Weird
And,
Al played the head Oompa Loompa.
He sang all the Oompa Loompas, and singing with him was amazing. We got to sing with him. I sang with John Stamos, doing the backup, and we did special arrangements by Jeff Hopner, which were just amazing. And it was a celebration. It wasn't just the Willy Wonka movie,
Which is fantastic, by the way.
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
The original, not
So
the...
they
The
were
original. This was the
they
original.
were showing parts from the movie on the screen behind you, as you well as performing.
Right. And what they did is they had the orchestra live, and Devotchka, they had an orchestra with Devotchka band. And so they would stop, at parts in the film where the music was, and then the live performers would come out and sing. So we were dressed as Oompa Loompas. And,
So you had the big curly Q wig and all that?
we had like the hat, the bow tie, the chocolate shirt, and the white like overalls. Yeah.
So everybody's kind of uniform.
The big Mickey Mouse gloves?
Yeah. Well, I
Wow.
had little ones. They made special. The costumer made We had like orange gloves. And the costumer made special gloves for me with just two fingers for
That's
for
really
my
decent.
hook.
Now that's cool for them to do that. For
Yeah,
you,
yeah, it
man.
was a lot of fun. So
Okay, a question from Chino here that got texted in. Is John Stamos as handsome in person as he is on the TV?
oh my God, my heart was fluttering the whole time.
You know,
I don't know if you should ask a guy that question.
After the third rehearsal, Stamos, he said, Lawson, I've already got your phone number. Stop putting it under my windshield.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
should see Jeff Sargent in real life.
Yeah.
You're responsible.
Even when he doesn't shave.
He was a super cool guy.
Go on, John. Sorry.
Yeah, Stamos was very cool, very nice. Met him at rehearsal, you know, and
He's a musician. He plays percussion, right?
right. He
Bongo?
played drums, and he played drums on the show.
I saw him
Yeah.
playing percussion and congas with the Beach Boys.
Yeah, he
before.
does. He performs with them. In fact, I think right before this weekend, the weekend before that, he had been in Florida somewhere performing with the Beach Boys. So, but yeah, he plays drums. He had a drum set come out. They kind of did an encore presentation of "I Want Candy." I want candy.
I met her. I interviewed her.
Yeah,
the lead
yeah.
girl from the Annabelle Lewin.
and she sang. And
She was in the. She came out for that.
yeah, yeah. And then
She's
yeah.
adorable. Even now, she's adorable. Oh, you know.
And so they had like tom-tom drums for. Also was from Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah,
Gio-
Giovanni, the guy who played the owner of Los
Candy
Pollos
Man.
Hermanos.
Yeah.
Oh, he played the Candyman.
Well,
He sang the
I'm just
Candyman.
talking about.
he played the drug dealer in
metaphorically,
Breaking
he
Bad,
played
yeah.
the drug dealer in Breaking Bad. And I can't think of his name right now. But he actually sang the Sammy Davis version of the Candyman can.
Who did he play in the play? Was he Slugworth?
In the Willy
in the
Wonka?
Willy Wonka,
no,
yeah.
no, this was just part of the celebration. He came out and sang the version of Candyman that Sammy Davis Jr. sang.
Really?
Yeah, and so he was awesome. So it had nothing to do with the movie. This was more like a Willy Wonka celebration. Everybody got a golden ticket that at certain points in the movie you could scratch and smell snodberry or chocolate. Snosberry. So everybody got a golden ticket that they could scratch and sniff. So it was really
I got a
cool.
golden ticket.
Yep,
I
and
got a golden ticket.
that's what we sang. So
I got a golden ticket. Doodle, and you can hear the flutes and the orchestra
Yep.
and the violins.
and all of that was live on stage, and so it's very it's a really cool opportunity to sing with a click track, you know, so you can hear the beat going, and that's what the orchestra has to play to.
Right.
And then also, and I didn't know this, and I'll give a trade secret away.
Yeah, please.
The conductor has like a little monitor, you know, a computer monitor on his conducting stand, and at the downbeat of each measure or the downbeat of each line, a white line goes across the screen of the movie, because he's watching the movie, so that he's in perfect sync with where the music's supposed to be with the movie.
I get it.
So
Okay,
yeah, it was really cool. And so it was just to be backstage at the Hollywood Bowl and not having people trying to kick you out was really cool.
Was there a conductor? Like, is that the conductor's like watching the screen when we're doing karaoke, right? Is there? I mean, was there the conductor conducting the singer or just the orchestra?
Both.
Both?
We had like a little monitor where we could actually see the conductor if we couldn't see him on stage. But yes, and Jeff Hopner conducted the orchestra, and he also did the musical arrangements for it. And here's another little sidetrack for you. The Jeff Hopner, along with Fabrizio, did the musical arrangements for Whitney's Wedding, the film that we did for the Disability
That
Film
was
Challenge.
them.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
And
the
so-
new,
It's a new normal.
new normal. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. And so Jeff Hopner did the musical arrangements. It was recorded by Melissa Axel, but he did the music arrangements for me. And then it ended up that he was the one that was doing the musical arrangements for Willy Wonka at the Hollywood Bowl, and I got to sing with him, which was phenomenal. So
Okay, I got a question from Rich Heck.
Oh, Richie!
And Richie, I don't know what you're talking about, but all he said was Tracy ?
Well, Tracy's in Texas. That's our pal of ours. We all used to hang around back in the 80s.
Hey, great not to ask anything of our guest, Richie.
I was going to say,
Yeah, I don't know what I don't. All he said was Tracy with question marks.
I never
don't know.
dated anybody by the name of
Richie
Tracy.
was
swear
on
to God,
an
I did.
episode.
You have
Richie
3
was
kids by her.
Yeah, she said she called up. She said
She wants her alimony.
you were the
check.
star of some vampire movie when you knocked her up.
Yeah. I never dated anybody named Tracy. I swear to God, I never did.
Richie was on an episode of Barter Kings, where they keep trading and they start
yeah.
with a go-kart and end up.
Giancarlo Esposito. who
Yeah,
played
there
Gus
you go.
Fring.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah,
It was
yeah.
haunting me.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Singing with him, it was phenomenal.
How many nights with the show?
We just did one night. We did the Saturday night only, and it was just awesome. I mean, they had a costume contest, and it was produced by Richard Kraft. Richard's amazing producer and represents. This is I think he even started this whole live to tape, live to film genre thing. It's
I
happening
saw
all over
singing.
now.
They did singing in the rain there too. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, Richard did the Disney movie Little Mermaid there. They did Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
that being promoted.
Yeah. So Richard's been kind of the leader in this, and so amazing guy, and so it was a lot of fun. It was an awesome time, a lot of fun.
Wow. Now, when you do something like this, when you still sing, you still get up on stage and sing. Are you ever self-conscious? Are you ever nervous?
No.
You never get the butterflies?
No, I started playing piano when I was 3, started taking lessons when I was 4, and I studied piano for 17 years. So I gave my first piano recital at 4 years old.
Wow.
You know, so yeah, so then I lost my hands at 30. So mathematically, I studied piano for my half life. I was a classical pianist.
You can still play the piano, right?
No, not really.
Oh, I'm
I mean,
sorry.
it's not even the same thing. There's just no comparison to playing with 2 hooks as it was with 10 fingers.
I'm so sorry.
That featured in our Whitney's wedding.
Trying
that
to show
piano
up
was
so-
featured in that
Show
film.
up sober
Yeah.
once in a while, Sergeant.
Yeah,
Shock us.
easy for you to say.
I met him. I would never insult you, John.
No, of course not.
Never to your face.
yeah. You have behind my back many
It's a
times.
beautiful grand piano. It's a beautiful piece of art.
Yeah.
So what's more nerve-wracking? I just want to ask you, because I've done both, performing music on stage or doing stand-up comic. Because I hate doing stand-up because
It takes
the pressure,
balls,
the
man.
pressure on you to make people laugh is
I-
horrendous. Just playing a guitar on stage and
I love doing stand up. I mean, if it doesn't bomb, if you bomb, you just keep on going. But I don't know. I love being on stage. I love being up there by myself, and whether it's singing or making people laugh, to me, I don't know. There's just no fear.
I knew he was, because he's funny during the set when we're filming. I dropped the I had the sound recorder, and the gaffer, and it kept slipping through my hands. I go, man, I can't hold on to anything, man. I keep slipping through my hands, and John's all, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean,
Yeah. But probably the most scary thing to me was sitting right next to Jessica Lange.
Yeah.
And then trying to keep my hands to myself.
Next time you come
how
back from
old is
American
she?
Horror Story, you'll be pepper sprayed.
Yeah. Well,
she still looks good, man.
yeah. She really does, and she was beautiful. She was very generous and very nice, and I promised I wouldn't lay a hand on her.
Oh, did she laugh?
Yes, it was the first time I'd ever used that joke ever.
that'd be a great woman to hook, I'll tell
Listen.
you.
Yeah.
If it makes a tall, blonde, 3-time Oscar winner laugh, you should keep that in your retina.
Yeah. Well, that's what I used on you when I met you.
Oh,
too.
this is true. And you lied, John. You lied. What about
It's what I told. It's what I told John Stamos.
once you've been with the blue chick from X-Men, man? Sky's the limit.
John Stamos. So tell me more.
Yeah, talk about Cincinnati.
I moved there in June of '93, and my wife at the time was working for a company, the paper mill there. They made Champion paper.
Huge paper mill. When you drive in, you would see it from literally from the freeway coming in.
Yeah.
Like Cincinnati, Akron, those are big industrial cities.
Do you
Well,
still have
they're
your
at opposite ends of the state from each other.
Do you still have your Kings Island Yogi Bear cup?
No, I don't. You know, I don't. I used to go to Kings Island before my kids were old enough to drop them off. You know, once they got old enough to drop off, that was more fun. Just leave them there. You know? But climbed the Eiffel Tower there many times.
Bravo.
Yeah, rode all the rides.
Kings Island is amazing. You'll have these hard plastic Hanna-Barbera character cups.
Yeah.
We had this Fred Flintstone cup that I swear to God would outlast a nuclear war. All the paint is gone from Fred's face, but it's indestructible.
It was probably lead paint.
I think we finally just pitched it.
Yeah. But yeah. So I lived there 22 years, and we moved there in '93. And
Kings Island, how many times to SeaWorld?
no SeaWorld.
Really?
No. But Kings Island,
Is it roller coasters and all that?
Yes,
roller
sir.
coasters.
It's
yeah.
for the Brady Bunch.
It used to be open. It used to be owned by
That's where they did
Paramount.
that episode?
Yeah, that's where they did that episode. It used to be owned by Paramount. They sold them off years ago.
Which is why they shot Brady Bunch there.
Yeah. And then they actually did. It was bought by another
Conglomerate.
Yeah, but out of crap, I can't remember now.
Which is why-
Sandusky, Ohio.
Right, which is why the Banana Splits shot there.
Yeah,
That's the same place.
Yeah, same place. Yeah. So we used to go all the time. Love it. you
It's
know.
like a Magic Mountain, right? It's kind of like
yeah, kind of like
There's
that.
really no theme to it, but the Hanna-Barbera.
It was kind of a Midwestern Disneyland.
Yeah.
I remember the place we were excited about. I don't know if you ever been to the Dakotas, but there was a place called Wall Drug.
Never
Never
been
been to
there.
Wall Drug?
No.
Wall Drug was kind of a block-long Western town. You'd shake your uncle down for quarters. You'd have Hang the Horse Thief. There'd be an animatronic horse thief. You can't stop me. I'm going to keep stealing horses. And you bum a dime off your Uncle Jerry and hung him.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you
Yeah.
won't get stuff like that anymore.
So that's what happened to you.
My Uncle Jerry and I hung the same horse thief till he ran out of quarters.
Till we ran out, yeah. That's pretty wild. But yeah, Cincinnati was great town.
You miss it?
Just miss my kids, you know. Miss my kids there.
When do you
but,
think they'll smarten up and come to the coast?
well, my daughter wants to,
Atta
for
girl.
sure. My son will probably stay there because of his job and his wife's job's there.
Fool.
And, yeah, you know, I think it's like 30 below right now, you know.
Call and laugh at them.
Yeah. So, but great food, great friends. I sang with the Cincinnati Symphony and the May Festival Chorus
you
for 10
really?
years. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Since we ran over, I got to reset the clocks real quick.
Hey,
Did we start earlier?
actually,
My
maybe
watch.
how-
Yeah, it's because we
I
started
thought we
early.
had 5 minutes. I thought
But you know what?
I thought we started exactly at
We're
7.
on automated time and we are running over. Just give me 1 second.
let's
to
make it
reset the
4
clock.
minutes over so we don't tick off anyone, and we'll have him do his plugs. La, 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 la. Come on, sing along,
We're
boy.
still on live streaming on Facebook.
It'd be nice if
Now he's getting pretty handy doing pulling up that Beach Boys stuff.
in Detroit, when you'd hear this at 30 below, you would say, fuck the Beach Boys. You're always singing about the coast.
I want to
and
hear
the sun.
something warm,
Yeah.
warmer than that.
I'm from Detroit. All you would hear in November in Detroit is the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald because it was always the anniversary.
Oh, yeah,
You know?
yeah. Oh, yeah. I shot a film in Detroit.
What'd you shoot?
Okay, we're good to go.
Cool. Okay, Johnny was telling us about a film he shot in Detroit.
Yeah, Monica Velour.
Wow, who's in that? Hold on, I saw that on your resume.
I can't remember stars'
I'll help you.
names.
Hold on.
Look it up for me.
How long did you film there? How long was that deal?
I was just there for a day. I played it was about a teenage kid who falls in love with this 70s porn star, looks her up, and then travels to find her like in a little trailer park somewhere and
That
you know,
sounds charming, actually.
tries to make a difference.
That
in
sounds
her life.
like a dream come true.
Yeah, it
man.
was.
A very happy fairy tale right there.
Meet Monica Velour.
Meet Monica Velour, yeah. And I played the fireworks salesman. He stops in, like he has a night for like.
Holy shit! Monica Valor, the '70s porn star, is played by Kim Cattrall.
Yeah, Kim Cattrall. Yeah, that's who it was.
Kim Cattrall.
And so
Brian Dehaney is Pop Pop.
Yeah, Brian. I actually had auditioned for Brian Dehaney's part.
Did you? Really?
Yeah, and I didn't get that for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why they couldn't cast me.
Keith David's in the movie. Did you like Keith David?
Yeah. I did another film with Keith David as well, called Union Furnace.
Really?
Yeah, it's sort of like an underground fight club kind of thing. And Keith David was in that one as well. So yeah,
That's
I
amazing.
have a lot of these connections.
But that's kind of cool. Monica Valor. I'm
Yeah.
looking at it right now. Wow.
You have to go. I've watched the film. It's actually pretty cool, But I play a fireworks salesman, and the original line was, and I wanted the guy to keep it, but the director cut it. Was the kid comes in to ask for fireworks, and I go, "You want the kind that blows them off here or here?"
Oh, that would have been golden.
I
Keep
know.
that. That would have been
Yeah.
the best line for a fire.
And that was my actual line, but he ended up not.
Don't
doing
light
it.
cherry bombs in your hands,
Yeah.
kids.
Well,
So-
where in Detroit did you shoot that?
I don't know. At some park. I really don't remember. But yeah, we shot that in Detroit.
Wow.
Yeah, because I felt really bad. I was driving my Toyota Prius around in Detroit.
How long did you take? Did you drive from Ohio to Detroit? or how-
Yeah. Because I was staying. I visited some friends on the way up, and I just told them I would drive up. So
So that was a kind of a cool thing. They knew you were in town and said,
Yeah.
"Hey, let's bring John Lawson in."
yeah. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a cool little. I mean, it was just a one little liner thing, but
But,
Still
you
cool.
know, no small parts.
yeah. But yeah, you have to watch the film. I'm sure it's available somewhere.
No, but the plot synopsis sounds great, actually.
Yeah, it really is. It's really cool, and he has like a little picnic, and that's why he bought the fireworks, because he shot off fireworks or something for. I don't really remember how it ends.
Which, of
but-
course, is a metaphor for
Yeah.
growing up.
yeah.
I
But
love indies.
it was a pretty good size budget film, but it didn't do well. But the same
Kim Cattrall, man.
well, yeah, but the same producers and director then shot The Kids Are All Right the very next year.
Which was
so-
a huge hit,
was a
Oscar
huge hit.
nominated.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo, you know.
Mark Ruffalo. They didn't call
I
me
didn't
for
know he
that.
was in that movie.
Yeah, he's the
Bruce
dad.
Banner, yeah.
He's the star.
He's the lesbian's boyfriend, yeah.
Yeah,
The lesbian.
yeah.
That's the plot.
That's the plot.
Okay, man, we're coming to it. John, is there anything you could plug?
Plug away, baby. What's coming
Plug
up?
away.
Where can we reach you? Where
you
can we see your tasteful nudes?
You can see my tasteful nudes on Instagram.
The boy.
John W. Lawson. Or on follow me on Twitter. I'm a Twitterer. So I'm there
You're the
as
one.
well.
Are you
Yeah.
allowed to accept any more friends on Facebook?
Yeah, there's a few more friends on Facebook, but you can find my profile, my John W. Lawson acting profile. Post there stuff all the time. What I'm doing, where am I going to be, and what I'm saying.
Bravo.
So-
Thank you, sir, for
All
joining
right,
us in the
yeah,
Jeff
yeah.
Sargent Show.
Tomorrow in the studio,
Jam-packed young Superman Jeff East, also talking about Pumpkinhead.
and producer Alex Wang and Noel.
And Noel. Wow, Noel.
Our
will be here.
buddy Noel. Noel
right.
Jason Scott, our vampire zombie buddy.
Exactly. Hey, Johnny, thank you so much for doing the show.
Yep.
And thanks for being smart enough to get out of Ohio.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye-bye. Thanks, man.
All
Thanks.
right. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.
Yes, here it is, a nice, warm, sunny day in Southern California, and I'm wearing a jacket. I think
It's a little nippy
I
at
think
70
it's
degrees.
freezing out. I think it's freezing outside when it's 70.
You know, John's children are cursing him and us.
A lot of hot air in this studio.
All right, let's do a buddy shot. Get in here, Dan.
Yeah, I'll
All
take
right,
us out.
shut it down. Shut it down,
I'm going
brother.
to take us out with some dead Kennedys, and that's it.